Hello, my Teaserking family. How is everybody today on what the day? Wednesday, May 29th. Hope everybody is good. And I am fine. So, big day in baseball yesterday. Let's go through it. Had Baltimore lost, Philadelphia 5-unit lost. The Tigers get rained out, so no play. St. Louis under 9, 5-star wins. Oakland over 7.5, loses. The New York Mets over 8, loses. Atlanta over 8.5, loses. But none of them were picks. Then I have the White Sox over 7.5, wins. The Cubs over 8, wins. Minnesota under 7.5, wins. Texas over 8.5, loses. Colorado over 10.5, wins. The Yankees win. Seattle wins, and San Diego over 7 wins. So I had a nice comeback. And those are my 5 stars. I go 5, 6, 7, and 1 on my 5 stars. Only losing Texas. No, I lost Philadelphia. Detroit gets rained out. They play today, and they win 8-0, or they were winning 8-0. They can't even have their ace going and cover the under. They got to go over. Like I said, they hit when they shouldn't, and they don't hit when they should. But it doesn't. We didn't play them today. We played them yesterday. So quickly look at gold. Gold's $23.38, and it's down $22. It is not profit taking. It is not correction. It is the China wanting to buy gold. They're doing derivatives, which is price fixing, to lower the price so they can buy it because it got too high. So as buying happens, the price goes up. If the price gets too high, these countries still want to buy the gold. JP Morgan does the derivative. So it is in no way, it is not a correction. It is not profit taking. It is simply putting in derivatives, shorts, so China can still buy more gold. That's it. Stop fucking around. That's all it is. There's no correction. There's no profit taking. What are you going to profit take? Silver got to 32.20, back down to 31.98 right now. So they're both about to explode. And it's just, it's just near the end. Like I said, it's like the Titanic. The boat's sinking, but it hasn't sunk yet. And when it sinks, it's going to really go. So that's all we're waiting for. It's been 23:45 most of the afternoon. From about 7 o'clock on, it got to 23:45. And this is a late down to 23:37. But this is the low for today. So it's pretty much down, and then it'll start getting bought up. So you got to keep that in mind. So overall, not too bad. Again, we know comex. We know it's a price fix. And that's all we can do with it, is understanding it's a price fix. And it's not, there's no correction. You don't correct these things. All right, real quickly about my job. My interview is Monday at 1 o'clock to 1:45 with the hiring manager. I met with the CFO and the VP of finance. So it's 45 minutes scheduled just for the hiring manager to get comfortable with me. I would think, since I've already passed the VPs, I can't imagine the hiring manager, I can't imagine too much problem with it. And they, especially like he's on vacation until the 3rd, and Monday's the 3rd, and all of a sudden we got a 1 o'clock on Monday. So they're excited. I'm excited. My recruiter thinks everything's good. So I just got to be the professor and, not bring up Russian women and not bring up gold, and I should be fine. Just speak to, this is what I can do for you, and off we go. Had a revelation with Daria today I want to get into, and then we get into baseball. And it's basically, I'm thinking about this, and the difference with Daria than the others is she's like a soulmate if you really get psychic, right? And so I want to talk to her, and then I'm getting frustrated because I'm the aggressor, but she's not responding. Now, a lot of it is she probably isn't used to it, and she probably is busy working with and then with their daughter, so she doesn't respond as much. But I keep kind of, not that I'm bothering her, but I keep texting her, and I think with I was thinking about this. Normally, like with Jenna, I don't text her. She texts me and I respond. I was thinking about that. So with a lot of the girls, they text me, I respond. I'm not texting them. And that's really the stoic way. And it says you should never text. You should never like call or text the girls. You respond to them texting you is what you do. You don't ignore them. You do text them when they text you, but you're not the aggressor. You just sit back, and when they text you, you respond if you like them. And I thought about that. And Jenna texts me every morning. She's texting me though. I wake up, there's a text from Jenna. I'm not texting her. She's texting me, and I'm responding. And that's the difference. And with Daria, I don't do that. So had a talk today, and my friend says, "No, no, 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 don't text her." I says, "It's been a week." And she says, "Yeah, this is, been doing that." So she says to, don't text her. Let her text you. So, if she really loves you, she'll text you. She'll be worried what happened. So she said, don't text her. Does she know I'm texting her? I don't know. Probably. She hasn't read them, but she probably knows I've been texting her. But she'll text me when she can. So in her mind, she's kind of saying, well, she kind of wants your money, but who wouldn't? Everybody would want to live a nicer life, and they know you offer it, and you're nice and friendly to her, and you can, she can have a nice life with you. So of course she wants that. Not quite sure if it's love or she just is comfortable and safe with you. I go, what does safe mean? She says, well, safe is as long as you're not going to hurt her. You'll take care of her, so she's comfortable. So she wants to be with you because she knows so the safe life, not like the Russian life. She's the life in Russia, and because she's got to work, she's got to take care of the daughter. There's nobody there. There's no boyfriend or husband, and so she needs to make money. With you, she doesn't. With you, you'll take care of her. So that's the thing. But I think the key is, and this is for all you guys, don't text them, let them text you. You might text them in the beginning. And what's different is I'm trying to date a girl in Russia and I'm in Detroit, where if you're dating girls that you are in your same city, never text them, respond to them. So if you meet this girl and you meet her at a restaurant or you take them on a date, don't text them. Wait till they text you, and then you're responding, but you're not initiating. And stoic, I'm finally kind of figuring this out. Stoic's about responding, not texting. That way they want you, and then, okay, yes, then you respond. And that's what I got to do with Daria. So I'm not going to text her. I'm going to wait for her to text me, and we'll see how long that takes. But it's pointless to just text her. Maybe I text her too much. Maybe she just doesn't have time. She's working 12-hour days, and then she's got her daughter. The last thing she's thinking about is I got to text Howard. So that's fine. But if I stop texting her, then she might, oh, I haven't heard from Howard in a while. I better text him. She says that'll show you that she loves you. I think she loves me, but that shows she loves you by texting her. And like I said, Jenna texts me, I respond to it. That's the difference. Or Irina or some of the other gals tend to text and then you respond, and that's how stoic's supposed to go. That's your stoic lesson for the day, and I'll keep you up to date. Um, I accidentally called her from the office. Um, all of a sudden, I see Daria, was calling. I accidentally called her. She didn't call me. I thought, how do I answer? I'm shocked. Daria's calling me, but I actually called her. So I'm trying to answer, and I can't figure it out. And then I realized I called her. So we will see. But anyway, that's what's happening. So the key is let the other person text you. If the other person texts you, then you know that they love you or they're your friend or depending friend or family or whatever. And they text you, then you respond. But it's stupid. What I've been doing is frustrating myself because I'll text and I'm waiting for a response. She's not giving me a response. So I get more frustrated. Where's the response? Where's the response? And I'm trying to stay stoic, right? I'm saying, well, I'll wait for her to, all I can do is text her. She'll text me back. No, she's got to text me and then I text her back. And believe me, if she texts me and I wait 5 days, I mean, then let her freak out. Let her get upset. Jenna gets upset when she texts me and I don't text her when I wake up because it's the time difference. So I usually text her when I get up. And then one day I was busy with something and probably interviews. And then I went to the pool and it's like 2 or 3 o'clock. She's fit to be tied. Where the fuck are you? You text me every day. Where are you? And I said, I had a phone call or something. And then I went to the pool. But every day she's texting me, and I respond, but if I don't, she gets all frustrated, which is how I feel. But let it be on the other shoe. So let Daria text me. And if she doesn't, then there's nothing there, and I didn't lose anything. I love her, but who cares? It's got to be both ways, right? Otherwise, you're just wasting time. So, and this is why you date more than one girl. If Daria is not serious, instead of sitting in the corner crying, oh my God, I'm alone. I got Jenna. I'm fine. That's why I do it. This is a perfect example of why you date more than one girl. And then you make your decision, or they make the decision for you. In this case, I hope to hear from Daria, and I'm sure I will. Excuse me. I'm sure I will hear from Daria, but not, she's busy. I know she's busy with work. It's 12 hours a day. She comes home, she's got her daughter, and probably goes to sleep. And that's what happens. And I don't even know if she has the phone all the time, or maybe Daria or Alina might have it. Once in a while, she needs it for school. So I don't know what's really going on, but I'll let Daria text me and then I'll respond. And really, I think that's the key to it. Let them text you. There's no point in texting and not getting a response and getting frustrated. Anyway, so that's the bottom line. Be stoic. Don't text them, but respond to the text. So if they text you, how are you doing? You respond. You don't fuck around with it. But if otherwise if you can text them once in a while, but if you start texting them a lot, like I'm doing with Daria, and you don't get the response, she's probably going, man, he's texting me again. I don't know, but I'm used to it, but it's a little too much. So I'm going to stop and we'll go from there. All right, let's do baseball. Busy morning. Let's see what we got. Yeah, we got a lot of night games. Detroit won 8-0. School Bowl against Jones. Surprised they got 8. So the over-under yesterday was 7. So we would have lost 7, but I don't know what it was today. All right. Today, St. Louis 4, Cincinnati 2 in the evening. Another 1:00 game. Texas 2, Arizona nothing in the fifth. And Detroit Pittsburgh game 2 is going on now. Let's check these finals from yesterday. I had the Yankees. Let's see. San Diego wins 4-0. Winner. Seattle wins 4-2. We've got Seattle. That was a winner. And the Yankees lost to California 4-3. All right. And in basketball, yes. I told Greg and John, you can't go against the team with the back against the wall. You either bet on them or you just don't trust them. How they won game 4 and they didn't win game 3 is really strange. When game 3 was the do or die game. Now they're down 3-0. Now it's almost like they don't care. And they won last night. Minnesota finally got the win. Now they go back home for game 5. Maybe you can bet them because they need it and they're at home and they finally got some confidence how to beat them if they can stop Luca Brasi. So we will see. All right. So a new day with baseball. We've got 5:29. And let's take a look. All right. Like I said, Cardinals 4-2 over the Reds in the 9th. Texas 2-0 over Arizona in the 5th. Pitt, Detroit, no score. And Philly 1-0 over Frisco just kicked off. Okay. 4:10. It's now 3:54. We got the Dodgers and the Mets, so let's do this quickly. James Paxton 5-0 with a 3.49 against David Peterson. 0-0 with an 0-0-0. Let's see what this is about. This guy hasn't pitched yet this year. Excuse me. The guy's ERA last year, we don't know. It's by game. Really? Oh, here it is. ERA was 5.03 last year. So this guy basically sucked at the Mets. So let's take the Dodgers. And we'll go 5 units. This game starts in 4:10, so 15 minutes. Also, Miami, San Diego starts at 4:10. San Diego minus 185 over under a 7. We got Braxton Garrett for Miami 1-0. Excuse me. I need a new box of Kleenex. It's funny how you get like that and you just sneeze, sneeze, sneeze. All right. Miami, San Diego. So Garrett 1-1, 1-0 with the 5:30 against Hugh Darvish. So we're going to go San Diego for 5 units. I like you. Miami sucks. Then 6:30. So those 2 games, the Dodger Met is in 15 minutes. Miami, San Diego. So go with the Dodgers. Go with San Diego. 5 units. Boston, Baltimore. Baltimore minus 185.7. Cutter Crawford, my Cutter guy, who started with the 0, is now up to 289, going south fast. 2-3 with the 289. Corbin Burns 4-2 with the 260. Let's go under. Baltimore under. And it's 7, but we're not going to bet it. But Cutter Crawford is giving up too many runs. So actually, I'm going to go to Baltimore I'm just going to go Baltimore. Oakland, Tampa. Again, these are night games. Tampa 185-8. Joey Estes 101 with the 747. Ryan Papal 3-2 with the 398. We're going to have to go over here. Oakland over 8. Two terrible pitchers. Washington, Atlanta. Mackenzie Gore for Washington 3-4 with the 304. Spencer Schwellenbach, that's a new one. 0-0 with an 0-0. Hasn't pitched. Who knows? Again, we're getting all these new pitchers. So each team started with 13, 14 pitchers going every 5 days, and all the bullpen going 1 inning a day. So they can't pitch more than 10 pitches. And they're still coming up with these. They're still getting injured. So maybe the 100 pitches doesn't help, or the 5 days. Maybe they should go every 10 days. They should pitch these guys. And instead of 100 pitches, make it 25. And the bullpen guys, 5 pitches seems to be about all they can handle. I've never seen so many injuries in my life. So obviously what you're doing, boys, doesn't work. Mackenzie Gore, 3-4. So, yeah, this is probably going to go over. We'll go Atlanta over. No bet. 8.5. Toronto and the White Sox. Alex Manoah for Toronto, 1-2 at the 397. Chris Flexen, 2-4, 5.69. We'll go Toronto here. Cubs in Milwaukee. The Cubs are 145 favorite, 7.5 over under. Shota Manganaga, 5-0 with a 0.84 against Bryce Wilson. 3-1 with a 2.86. Here's our 10-star. We're going Chicago under 7.5, and this is going to be 10 units. I mean, this is the table set a 5-0 with a 0.84, not 0-0. 5-0 with a 0.84, 3-1 with a 2.86. They ain't going to be scoring in this game. So let's go under 7.5, 10 units. That's the games we're looking for. Problem is finding them. Kansas City, Minnesota. We got Seth Luger for Kansas City, 8-1 with a 1.74. Another ace, Bailey Ober, who's pitching very good, 5-2 with the 4.33. We're going to go KC, and we're going to go under 7.5. And this one's going to be 10 units. You give me these pitchers with these low ERA, like Seth Lugo's 8-1. It's not like he's 1-1 and this is his third game. This guy's pitched 9, probably 12, 13 games already, and he's 1.74. And Bailey Ober's pretty good. I remember against the Tigers, they made a big deal about him. So 5-2, 4.33. Yeah, it's a little bit high, but I think he's been pitching well. So let's go there. So the last two are under 7.5. The Cubbies and KC, 10 units. Cleveland and Colorado. Cleveland's a 150 over under 11. It went over yesterday. It was over 10 or something. Logan Allen, 6-2 with the 4.89. Ty Black, 1-2 with the 4.55. We're going over here. Cleveland over 11. A little high to bet, but these pitchers suck. The Yanks in California. California won yesterday. The Yanks are minus 200, 8.5. Lewis Gill, 6-1 with a 2.11 against Tyler Anderson, 5-4 with a 2.54. We're going to go Yankees. We're going to go under 8.5, and this will be a 5 unit. So why are we taking the over-under versus the Yankees is because Gill's 6-1 with the 2.11, but Tyler Anderson for California is 5-4 with the 2.52. There's not going to be a lot of runs theoretically with these low ERAs, and they both, Anderson's 5-4. He's pitched 12, 13 games. He's got a 2.52, and Gill 6-1 with a 2.11. And yes, record matters. So I got to go. I can't go New York. Are they going to be able to hit Tyler Anderson? I've seen New York not do much, and they haven't looked good on the West Coast here. I think one thing I was thinking about, these teams that go on the West Coast, especially baseball and basketball, they're there for a couple of games. So you fly from New York, you probably went to San Francisco or Oakland. So you got to get your body clock ready. So that takes 2, 3 days. But you don't have 2, 3 days. You have one day to get ready. Now you're on the new clock. And now you went from Oakland to California, Anaheim. Now you're playing what's today, Wednesday. So I think was this Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday or something. Uh, and then what are they going to do for the weekend, right? So they'll have to, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, if they're on the West Coast. Now they start getting tired. They go out and party. It's California. So they're not at the peak as they are when they're in New York or Boston or, even the Cubs. So it's hard to go West Coast for a long time. So that's why they lost yesterday. That's why I don't trust them. They're probably tired. I don't think they'll score a lot of runs. Hopefully the pitcher's not too tired. All right, Houston, Seattle. It's Verlander day. Houston's only a minus 105, over under 7. Verlander 3-2 with a 3.60. Take away that Yankee game, and it's probably 3-2 with a 2.00. George Kirby 4-5 with a 4.33. We go Houston. We go the Verlanders, and we're going to go 5 units. Now, do we want to go under? Let's see. Houston, a 262 batting average. Man, they jumped. Altuve was hitting like 200, and I looked at the box score and he's like 290. So he's been cooking, and Bregman's been getting better, and they got some good hit. They always have good hitters. See, they have a good farm system. Somebody has a good eye for talent there. You look at the Tigers, their talent sucks. You look at Houston, and they always bring it up, and now Kansas City again. Here they come, and the Yankees always. I mean, they know what they're doing, so they know what they're looking for, and it ain't these high school guys. I hate that. How do you draft a shortstop or something from high school? Are you kidding me? Your position players got to come out of college. What are you thinking? I mean, let them develop in college, and they can hit. But you think a high school kid's going to hit major league pitching? You're out of your mind. Wow, it's just ridiculous. So Houston hits 260. Seattle is hitting 223 with the 307. So you've got this A team against kind of an under team. So we're going A. All right, so we're not going to go under in the game. We are just going to go Verlander in the game. So take Verlander. They're 24-31. They must win. Seattle's 30-26 somehow, but Seattle doesn't hit. This should be a shutout for Verlander, 4-0 or something like that. You could go under, but it's 7, and I just assume Houston's only a 105. How the hell is Verlander only a 105? What, are you kidding me? So let's go Verlander. So again, the Dodgers 5 units, San Diego 5 units. Were these supposed to be over or unders? I wonder. No, these are straight up. So take you, Darvis, for San Diego 5 units, and take the Dodgers 5 units. Baltimore, we're just going to play Baltimore. Oakland over 8, Atlanta over 8.5, Toronto. The Cubbies under 7.5, 10 units. Kansas City under 7.5, 10 units. Cleveland over 11, no bet. The Yankees under 8.5. The Yankees under 8.5, 5 units, and Verlander 5 units for Houston. So 2 big plays, the Cubbies and Kansas City, both under 7.5, both the number ones going for both teams. And that's what you expect. Again, it's expected outcome. And again, baseball is so different. It's every day. This is why I don't like basketball. It's every day. Now, I can do baseball because I don't have football to worry about. But when there's basketballs on with football, it's just too much. That's why I don't do it. But that's why I do the playoffs. And you see how strong we are in the playoffs. I can't name 5 players. It doesn't matter. We keep winning based on situation, right? Minnesota, they're eliminated if they lose, they win. Now they're going to have game 5 in Minnesota. We're going to be taking Minnesota backs against the wall, and they won. You watch, they'll win game 5, and they'll probably lose game 6 back at Dallas. But you just won game 4 at Dallas, so you can definitely win game 5 back in Mini. So really, you just got to learn the psychology of it. Basketball, there's no game tonight. Tomorrow is game 5. So tomorrow we've got Dallas at Mini. Mini's minus 4.5. So we got to take Minnesota tomorrow. I mean, it's 3-1. They get eliminated. So that if they're eliminated, they're all done. So that can't happen. So anyway, that's where we're at. So Mini will be played tomorrow. Let's see, NFL, any news? Stenson Benson says he missed season. Let's read this one. Our man, Stenson Benson, says he missed season was due to mental health after returning to Rams. Stenson Benson is back with the Rams after missing all of last season under mysterious circumstances. Damn right. While he declined to go into detail about the reasons for his absence, Nick told us it was alcohol. He told reporters after practice Tuesday that they fall under the umbrella of mental health. The 26-year-old reportedly said he spent last season at home, said he and the team would keep the specifics in-house. It was a major surprise last year when the Rams placed Stenson on the reserve non-football illness list 3 days after their season opener. The team had selected Bennett with the 4th-round pick after winning 2 back-to-back titles for my Georgia team in the 2023 draft and installed him as a backup behind Matthew Stafford. Rams head coach Sean McVay declined to provide any explanation for Bennett's time away from the team, but did tell a reporter, I understand you have a job to do, but there are certain things that are a lot bigger and more important. Last week, our Rams GM, Les Snead, said that Bennett was exhausted and needed to recover from a toll taken by the stress of his college career. Bennett was coming off 2 consecutive national titles, winning the professor and the boys all this money. A wild underdog story after he walked on with the team, transferred to a junior college, transferred back, and took over the starting job from JT Daniels, who basically sucks. So we got Stenson Benson. Fortunately, Bennett is now back. Might be harder to find a consistent spot on the roster with both Stafford and Garoppolo. Garoppolo sucks aboard, but he could see the primary backup duties early in the season due to Garoppolo pending 2-game suspension. He sucks anyway. Justin Fields laughs off idea that he'll run kicks back for the Steelers. I'm not here to do that. Bad attitude. What are you there to do, Justin? Because you ain't there to play quarterback. No, Justin Fields won't be running back kicks return for the Steelers. The former Bears quarterback laughed that idea off on Tuesday, ending what would have been a remarkable development on his new team. No, I'm not here to do that. It was kind of a joke, to be honest with you. Well, you ain't going to be playing quarterback. Anyway, so that's a bunch of crap. Texas signing wide receiver Nicker Collins to an expensive. Who cares? Ravens tight end Mark Andrews all for NFL ban on hip drop. What a pussy. They should not be banning these hip drop tackles. That's probably the safest way to tackle. Saints defensive end out with the torn Achilles. Brandon Ayuk targeting Amon St. Brown's 120. This is the problem. Receivers can't make that kind of money. They're easily injured, and there's plenty of them. So they're not like running backs where you get, Barry Sanders every 25 years or McCafferty. St. Brown, the Lions way overpaid for. That's ridiculous. Lamar lost a lot of weight, I guess. Who cares? Cowboys' indecision on Dak Prescott has hampered them. It's not a hard decision. Just cut him. Let somebody else have them. He sucks. NFL odds, slow the hype. Most bettors believe Caleb Williams will be a flop. Caleb Williams and Bears will miss the playoffs. How do you think they can make? First of all, Green Bay's the best team in the division. Lions are okay. The Vikings have no quarterback. Well, I guess Darnold. And then Caleb's not a very good quarterback. So I don't see them winning. That's 6 losses they're going to have. Who the hell are they going to beat? Oh, they'll beat Tennessee and Carolina. So that's about it. So I wouldn't bet them to make the playoffs. You got to be kidding. I mean, at best, they're the third best team in the division. You got the Rams in San Francisco. You got nobody in the South. You've got Green Bay and Detroit ahead of you in yours. And Dallas and Philly, we have no idea what to get. And there's only, 7 playoff teams. So that's 2, 4, 6, 7. You're 8 or 9. So, yeah, I don't see it. Daniel Jones, the Giants quarterback, wasn't fired up about the Giants' attempt to draft another quarterback. How you're in the league, boy, I have no idea. This guy just blows. Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid stand for Harrison Buckner. Who cares? Roger Goodell clarifies his comments on the NFL. We don't care. Aaron Rodgers discusses high stakes for Jet season. All right, Aaron. High stakes for Jet season and what running with RFK Jr. would have meant. We don't care. We don't get into politics. All right. Chiefs Isaiah Pacheco is a filthy steal in early fantasy. Yeah. Trevor Lawrence hopefully signs extension with Jaguars sooner than later. What are you kidding me? Why would you want that guy? What are you watching that we're watching that you think he's any good? Justin Jefferson skips start of training camp. Good boy, Justin. Go to Cincinnati. Go play with Burrow again. Skip start of voluntary OTAs and mid-contract talks. Don't sign, John. Who's your quarterback going to be? All right, so that's what we have. So baseball again. The Dodgers in San Diego, which are just starting. Baltimore. We've got Oakland over 8, Atlanta over 8.5, Toronto, Chicago under 7.5, the Cubbies, the AC under 7.5, Cleveland over 11. It's in Colorado. The Yanks under 8.5, and the Verlanders. The 5 units are the Dodgers in San Diego. 10 units are Chicago under, the Cubbies under, KC under 7.5, both of them. 10 units. The Yankees under 8.5, and the Verlanders, we're just playing 5. Take the Verlanders. So that's your baseball for today. We've talked about gold. So when you see these drops, okay, one thing I was thinking that I want to share. besides the stoic, that story of Daria, is some people think gold's a stock. And when you listen to these analysts on YouTube, you don't really want to listen to them. So they go, it's profit taking, it's corrections, it's, of course it went down, it went up. Okay, they're all wrong. It is not profit taking, it is not a correction. Those are stocks. Stocks do that. Microsoft goes up 20 points, it comes back down. And then you buy it again. That is not gold and silver. It is not anything to do with correction or profit taking, because we're dealing with a price fixed market. And if you're dealing with a price fixed market, then how the hell is it like that? That's really the point. Is it is money. It's an asset. There's no difference between my gold. This is the new maple leaf, and this. These are both assets. The difference is this is money, right? And this isn't. And again, you are not going to Kroger's with this to buy groceries. Just like you don't go to Kroger's with this to buy groceries, or with your Rolex, or your Van Gogh, or your Picasso. It's an asset, or your house, or your car. You don't. It's just that the idea is this won't lose value, and if I need to, I know this is going to zero if it isn't already there, which I believe it already is. So I don't want to hold this because I know it won't have a value. So I go into this and I go into this because these are assets that have value, that won't lose the value. Because what people aren't really understanding is everything priced in this goes to zero along with this. This is going to zero. It's at maybe 1 cent. My thought is it's already at zero. 35 trillion in debt, 150 trillion printed, it's at zero. And the way the game is with this, well, it's the FX, and you got to buy it to buy other currencies and all that bullshit. But it's just the way it is. It's sort of like, I don't know, just this is the way we've always done it. So this is what we'll do. That's kind of what it's at. And so what you got to realize is this is worthless. So you buy these because these will never be worthless, right? These will keep the value. This is never going to be worthless because they can't print it. Bottom line, stone cold. They can't print it. So the bottom line is this will never go to zero. It'll only go up because it's really priced in this. And we know this can't go up because they keep printing it. So if they keep printing this, and the more you print, the less it's worth, how is this supposed to go down? It can't. So there is no profit taking or correction on gold. It can only go up. Hemke, I'm talking to you. It can't go down because there is no who's profit taking? Who's selling this because it went up and they're going to buy it again? Who? Nobody. None of the central banks are selling their gold. China and Russia are buying as much as they can in India. The only guy I know selling it are these idiots when I go to the coin store and I see this in the counter because some idiot sold it because he thinks 2,400 is all-time high. He doesn't understand it's price fixing by comex. So he doesn't even get the whole plot of the game. So therefore, but is his sell making the price go down? No. First of all, it's a paper price. So if I went and bought 1,000 ounces, or if I had 1,000 and I sold them, that wouldn't even make a dent because we're not doing a physical price. So this is strictly a paper price of a derivative price. So therefore, how the hell do you have profit taking? What you have going on, why the price drops, because it goes too high, too fast, And China's not done buying, and India and Russia are not done buying gold. And they want JP Morgan to keep selling to lower their price. Problem is, JP Morgan's running out of gold to do that with. He can't just do it out of thin air now. Rules have changed. Basel III, he must have some gold to do the derivative. So he's running out of gold. That's the Ponzi scheme. As he runs out of, and so he does his short, but wait, China buys the gold. So they do the short, they buy the gold. And as they buy the gold, there's just very few, little bit of gold left. This is not profit taking, and this is not a correction. The only correction is JP Morgan selling. So China, the price got too high. It's near 2,400. Can we lower it back to 2,300? I'm not done buying another 5 tons of it. That's the bottom line. That's what it is. So it's just got too expensive. So but it's not a correction. It's not profit taking. These idiots think it's fucking a stock. It's not a stock. It's money. So the only difference between these two are one thing. This is money. This is more limited. They only made 50 and it's Mahomes. This will probably go up more than this, but there's more demand for this. So there's nothing wrong with a 50 count Mahomes card. It just needs to be priced in gold, not dollars. This will be priced in gold, not dollars. But right now, both of them are priced in dollars. And this is the problem. There's no such thing as deflation. There's no such thing as inflation. The only thing with inflation is they print. Prices are not inflation. It's the dollar going down. How many times must I say that? So therefore, it's not prices. So therefore, this should not be priced in dollars. So when the dollar goes to zero, this then gets priced in gold. This then gets priced in gold. And a much better price than priced in the dollars that's going down. So there's no such thing as deflation. And there's no such thing as price inflation. These are people that are very clueless, and they're talking like Maloney and Reichert and all these Rick Rudes and all these guys are fucking clueless. They don't understand it, but they want to seem like they understand it. So anybody that tells you there's price inflation has no clue, because it isn't. It can't. I'm sorry. Coke raising their bottle to $3 is not inflation. It's the dollar going down, so they need to charge more because this isn't worth anything. So if you just understand this isn't worth anything, it's not prices going up. Just like this. This, where it should be, if you allowed it, would be much, much higher. It'd be 20,000 an ounce. But you have the price fixing, keeping it at 2,300, which is a joke. So I just bought this yesterday, I think. And that's where we're at. So you just keep going with it. This is a great value because it's 50 count. As long as it's limited and it's Mahomes, you're fine. Now, you don't, like this one's a Barry Bonds. Yeah, it's limited, but it's Barry Bonds. The demand isn't there because of the steroids, but it is 100 count Barry Bonds. So things that are limited of star players usually do well, but baseball, for some reason, they are really out to get McGuire and Sosa and Bonds and Clemens. It's freaking ridiculous because there was no good players in the 80s except for Cal Ripken Jr., who apparently didn't do steroids. And then you got Ken Griffey Jr. and Frank Thomas later, but there's only 3 or 4, Maddox and a couple others. That's it. Where football's got all the studs. But anyway, this is priced in dollars, gets priced in gold, and then it goes up. It can't go down because it's Mahomes and it's 50 count. So Remke, if you knew anything, you wouldn't sit there and bullshit about baseball cards. When you don't know about what you're talking about, you got to shut the fuck up. It's really demeaning for people to talk about my stuff like that when they don't know what they're talking about. Doesn't work with me. Anyway, so here, this will only go up because it's valued in dollars. It can't be printed. It's extremely limited. It's highly demanded. That's exactly what you want. So that's what we got. Anyway, what else? I think if you understand the concept, then it becomes much easier. Why is the dollar? Why is there inflation? Because these idiots print money because they're a bunch of crooks and they're stealing money. They're not really trying to hurt us. That's the effect of it, but they don't realize it. Like, so when JP Morgan prints $1 billion and he gives it out to Gates and his little friends and Biden, Pelosi, all of them, and they put it in the stock market and everything. He doesn't really understand that. He doesn't really understand that he's really doing inflation. He's just printing money. He's just greedy. Oh, I'll print $1 billion. Look for me. But he doesn't get that then it devalues the dollar and everybody goes poor. I don't think he understands that. Running banks, he doesn't really want to destroy his own bank. That's like the stupidest thing he can do, but that's what he's doing, right? And apparently he's retiring because he knows that JP Morgan's about to go broke. All the derivatives are going to blow up, and the derivatives are going to blow up, and they're going to lose trillions of dollars and probably go out. So he's retiring now to get his money because he can smell what they're cooking and he knows he's in trouble. And that's really why he's retiring early. Thank God. He should have been in jail 20 years ago. That's the problem with the banks in a fiat currency environment where they can just print money. That's why they don't like gold, because they can't just print money. With gold, you can only print as much money as you have gold. Now, if you raise the value of the gold, you can print more money. And these guys are so stupid. Instead of just hoarding the gold like the Hobbit did or the Midas touch man, instead of just doing that and then saying, well, I can't lose, it can't go, nobody can print it. They want to print the dollars and think the dollars have value. All these rich guys are going to go broke. I was watching, CBDCs and the government controlling and all this. No, they won't, because when the dollar goes out, they won't have any money. That's the point. The money goes to zero. So you got all these people, a lot in Germany and Europe and everything, and they're rich. No, they're all going to be penniless because they're too stupid to buy gold, because they keep getting millions of dollars printed for them. So, you're worried about CBDCs. It won't matter because the dollar goes to zero. Everything in dollars goes to zero. And the only winners are the gold boys. So that's why I don't even listen and pay attention to half that shit. I was talking to my friend today about Daria, and she said she lost money in Bitcoin. I go, oh, I thought everybody bought Bitcoin at $10 and now it went to 70,000. I didn't think anybody actually bought Bitcoin at 50, 60,000. Anybody you talked to bought it. They all bought it at $10. And so I got her in the gold. I says, and I used my Titanic and then as soon as I used Titanic, she got it. She said, where do I buy it? I go to 5 and Haggerty where I go. And so she's going to go buy some gold. She's like, I have $500. I says, well, this cost me $650, so you can buy 1/10 of an ounce and then silver with the rest of it. And I says, you'll be fine. And she got the Titanic's such a beautiful example. But that's really where the problem is. People don't understand inflation, price inflation, wage inflation. How the fuck can you have wage inflation? Well, wages are going up. Not because you're printing the money, you idiot. If inflation is because you're inflating the supply of money, how the hell is there price inflation and wage inflation? Excuse me, you people do not get it. Not you guys, but them. They don't understand. There's impossible to have price inflation. Well, prices are going up. That's not inflation. That's prices going up, and it's only if the market allows it. So if I wanted to go buy a steak, and they make the New York strips $35, I don't buy it. The market says no, you must lower your price, and the price gets lowered. I just bought New York strips for Memorial Day, $12.95. They've been 20. I ain't gonna buy them at 20. $12.95. I bought two. That's the point. The market controls the prices because the guy trying to sell them only works if he can sell them. And if your price is too high and you can't sell it, that's like me. If I'm trying to sell this card for $10,000 because it's 50 count and it's Mahomes, but I can't, but nobody wants to pay it, that's the market saying that's too expensive. And the market tells me, you can't sell it at that price. Nobody wants it. So you put it on eBay on an auction and you start it at $1 and let it go. And then the market tells you what it's worth. Could be 1,000, could be 5, could be 10. Then we have a price. The initial market must be an auction. Then you do a buy it now for whatever it sold for. So it sells for $6,000. You do a buy it now for $6,500. And that's how you figure out the price of something. And prices are basically just definitions. They're just they're knowledge. How much can I get for this? We don't know. Let's sell one and see what the market will bear. It always comes down to the free market. As much as the socialists and communists want to do price fixing like gold, it comes down to the free market. So at the end of the day, the gold will go to a free market for the physical, and it'll be $20,000 because the demand will far exceed the supply because there is not that much left to sell, to buy. The central banks have most of the 250,000 tons. We know China's got 60 and Russia's got 30 and India, I believe I heard, has 10. And this isn't central bank. This is central bank, shadow bank, all the banks who have gold, and then the population. That's how you don't just look at the central bank. You think China and Russia is going to announce what their central bank has? They have to keep it quiet. But believe me, we know China's 60,000. Even if Jim Rickards thinks it's only 2,500. Oops, sorry, Jim, but you're not even close. You're not close to reality. All right. So with that said, there's no inflation, there's no deflation. The price controls everything. Off we go. So I don't get when people say there's price inflation. I'd laugh. It's hilarious how stupid these people are. Or wage inflation. Oh, that's a good one, wage inflation. So if I get a better job and I make more money, how is that wage inflation? When you making more money? It's again, because this is worth less, you have to pay me more of these to get back where I was. So if I'm at 50 grand and now you got inflation and now I make 80 grand, did I get a raise? I don't think so. I think I was making more at 50 grand with that money than I am with this money at 80 grand. And then my question is going to be, when the dollar goes out, how are you going to pay me? I want to get paid in gold. I got this interview Monday. They're going to say, we're going to negotiate, right? And I'm going to do what Bobby should have done. And I'm going to say, well, you know what? Let's see. I'm making this. What am I making a month? And work it out. And I'll go, okay, gold. So I want $5,000 worth of gold a month. No, it's $10,000 worth of gold. And the beauty is there's no taxes because he's not saying anything. If you got paid in gold, there's no taxes because How do you tax gold? You can't. You only tax this. I can tax this, but you can't tax this because you don't even know I'm getting it. Just send me in the mail. Send me, let's say it's 10 grand a month. So give me 4 ounces. You give me 4 ounces a month, I'm happy. And when the gold price goes up, I just got a raise. And no taxes. I don't care about 401ks. That's my best line when I'm interviewing. I don't want a 401k. I'm putting it in gold. People look at me like, well, you can't do that. And I'm like, yeah, sure I can. Why would I want it in stocks when they're about to crash? Oh, just put it in the five. Put it in Amazon and Apple and those. Just put your 401k in that. Yeah, those are fairly priced. So that's your key. Is there's really the only inflation is printing the money. All this other is bullshit that these guys don't have a fucking clue on, and you confuses you. You think prices are going up. What does Alligator always say? It's not gold going up, it's the dollar going down. Well, that applies to everything. It's not Coca-Cola going up, it's the dollar going down. It's not broccoli going up, it's the dollar going down. It's not tuna fish going up, it's the dollar going down. But if you notice, the prices they don't go all up the same amount. Fritos goes from 250 to 5. But Oreos went from 3 to 6, or they don't all double or whatever. They go up 10%, 20%, 30%. And when they come down, it's not deflation. They're coming down because nobody's going to spend that much on them. And it's funny. I just hear all these prices going up to grocery stores, and I'm like, well, I don't know. My broccoli. I noticed my lettuce going up from like 170 to 220 or something a pound, but doesn't really affect. I mean, if you eat fruits and vegetables, you're not noticing very much at all. Steaks, you can switch. Hamburgers, still, I could have got 85 hamburger today for $3.99 a pound on sale at the very expensive meat grocery store that I go to. I go to like the cheap one for all the fruits and veggies, but for meat, I go to the more expensive meat grocery store. My friend Alyssa goes, "Oh, you shop there?" I go, "Just for the meat, but it's cheaper here." But I go to the other one for all the stuff. But if you're buying cereal and cookies and chips, yeah, the prices have gone up a lot, but fucking don't eat that shit. So just stick to the normal stuff. Stick to the veggies and the fruit and the meat, and you're fine. You really haven't gone a little bit on the salmon's gone up, and that's about it. It's really not gone up too much. Anyway, so don't get confused on inflation, please. It is not price inflation. There's no such thing. The only thing that inflates is the dollar being printed, period. Bottom line. The effect is it's worth less, so it takes more dollars to buy Coca-Cola or to buy a car or to buy a house. It's because the value of the dollar dropped. Once we get into just pure gold, you'll never see that. An ounce of gold will buy a Camry, and that's it. And in 10 years, an ounce of gold will buy a Camry. Nothing will go up. The prices won't go up. Steel won't go up. Everything will remain a half ounce of gold for this and that it's because you don't print it. So whatever it is what it is. It won't go up, and it won't need to. Go look at the 1950s and 60s. Houses were very cheap, and cars and everything else, because they didn't need to. Gas was 19 cents a gallon in mid-1960s. I remember going with my dad to the gas station, and it's like, I don't know what he's doing. I see 19 cents for a gallon. Why isn't it still 19 cents? Because you've printed so many of these, they don't have a value anymore. But God forbid they tell you that you understand what inflation really is. Then you'd run screaming and kicking. So that's why they keep you in the dark. But if you understand it's the dollar that has no more value, this is what I don't get from Alligator. He tries to come off like it's not gold going up, it's the dollar going down, but he doesn't get prices are the same thing, and he doesn't get chicken soup is not chicken soup going up, it's the dollar going down. So he doesn't quite get it. He kind of half gets it, but he only gets it in gold, and he's wrong. Gold is going up as well as the dollar going down. You see it, gold's up to $2,400 because it went up in value. The dollar didn't drop. It already dropped. It's not dropping now. It's got nowhere to drop to. It's gone. It's out of here. A 2-run home run. So that's really what you have to look at. And if you understand it, so how I explain it to my friend who's helping me with Darius, she says, I says, this is a no-brainer. You can't lose with it. It's a lock. Gold can't go down, right? Especially priced in dollars, but then there'll be too much demand over supply, making it impossible for it to go down. And then I said something like the dollar's going to zero. The dollar's the Titanic. It's going to zero. Then you can see her eyes light up, and she's like, holy shit. Yeah, I think now I get it. Now I get that the dollar's worthless and gold they can't print it. That's why we're in gold. And then it was like, how do I take gold to the grocery store? And I says, you don't. I go, it's just like a Picasso. How do you take it? You don't. You sell it for whatever the paper is, and that's what you'll take to the grocery store. But gold's an asset. Gold's like, I says, what do you do with your stock? Do you take your stock? You own Microsoft. Do you take that to the grocery store? No, it's the same thing. It's an asset, a high valued asset that will never go down because they didn't make their numbers, and it is not stock. There's no fucking there's no consolidation. There's no profit taking. People that say that are fucking clueless of what is a price fix. Oh my God, it's unbelievable. And these guys try to come across like they're economists. And I hear it and I just roll my eyes. It's a shake my head moment, Bobby. I just sit there and I go, you have to be fucking kidding me. These are economists and they don't understand the most basic premise is that the dollar's worthless and gold can't be printed and there's no such thing as inflation and there is no profit taking. It's all derivative sales lowering the price. It's not profit taking. It's the price got too high. China wants to buy more. Let's lower it. That's what it is. It got too high and they need to lower it. But as they run out of doing that, because they run out of gold and silver, and that's the whole thing with gold, they can't take it from Shanghai, so there can't be much left. Silver there went to Shanghai to try to get, and they took most of it, and there's not a lot left. And as they want to take physical demand of the silver, and that's going away very soon, and then we're going to get to physical prices blowing up comex like it's Madoff. So Madoff got blown up because everybody wanted to buy Madoff. Everybody needed their money. So Madoff, give me my money. And everybody did. And before you knew it, there was $1 billion going out the door. And he had $500,000 coming in the door. How does I pay off the other people? And that's because of the housing crisis, which Madoff should have seen coming. And if we're on the gold standard and Clinton didn't go in forcing the banks to loan money to these idiots, you wouldn't have had that problem. There never would have, on gold, you never would have had a housing crisis. You wouldn't have had a 2000 bubble crisis. You wouldn't have had a 1986 inflation causing the 87 and crash. It's funny how every time there's inflation, there's stock market crashes. Nothing would happen with gold. We've had gold. Gold went from 1814 to 1913, right? 100 years. You never had really a war except for the Civil War. You never had inflation. You never had any of this shit till the central bank, which was never supposed to come in, gets signed in by Woodrow Wilson. That guy should have went to jail for what he did was totally illegal. It's not in the Constitution, so how the hell can you do it? And that's what cracks me up. Everybody swears to the Constitution when they get elected and nobody follows it. So like I said, you've got to have you almost can't have anybody run the government because nobody knows how. It's too big. You just need a commissioner And you need the rule, the Constitution can't be changed. It's 4 downs, 10 yards, field goals are 3 points, touchdowns are 6. You kick the extra point from the 2, holding penalties and pass interference. And this is the game, and it can't be changed. You can't go to a central bank. You can't get out of gold. It's got to be gold, not dollars. You got to follow the laws, and you got to have low taxes. And that cannot change. You can't change it. How they start changing it is beyond me. And I love the excuse, well, that was 1776. No, it wasn't. It's what would have worked in the Roman Empire, and it's what worked in the France Empire and the British Empire. It worked in all the empires. Leave it alone. You can't touch it. That's the point of a rule book. Well, it's only when it's good for us do we not pay attention to it. Anyway, so that's my lesson for today is the inflation. The money supply is down and the money's worthless, which is why prices are up, why wages are up, because the dollar is not worth anything. That's it. It's very simple. Has no value, so therefore Coke needs to charge more to get more because the dollar's not worth anything. That's it. I mean, it's very simple. Why is it fucked up? And the gold price and the silver price do not go down from profit taking or consolidation. They go down because China's not done buying yet and they want the lower price. So they do derivatives to lower the price so China can buy it. Very fucking simple. What is wrong with these people? Oh, it's profit taking. Even if people want to sell, it's not going to affect the price because it's not priced in dollars. Silver is not priced in what people buy and sell it. It's priced in derivatives. So if I sell 100 ounces, it doesn't affect the price. If I buy 100 ounces, it doesn't affect the price. Only the derivatives. So keep that in mind. It's only the derivatives that really affect anything. Not profit taking and not corrections. Those are stocks. Gold is not stocks. Silver's not stocks. They're money. They're assets. Just like a Rolex. Does Rolex go up and down? You go to a jeweler store and the Rolex is 50,000 and you go there in a month. Is it still 50,000? Or maybe it's 52,000. Is there profit taking? Did it consolidate? No, because it's not a stock. It's a freaking asset, just like gold, silver, diamonds, sapphires and rubies, Picassos and Van Goghs. They're assets. They don't profit take. You own a Picasso and you got it, and it was $200,000. Now it's worth $1 million. You gonna profit take it? And even if you do, you get the $1 million for it. It's not profit taking, and it's not going to lower the price because you're not going to take 200,000 for it. If Picasso gets you $1 million, you're going to sell it for $1 million, right? You're not going to take. Well, we're only going to take 250,000 because we bought it for 200, even though it's worth $1 million. And that's my point. If you let gold do what Picasso does and do what the Mahomes cards do, it would be 20,000. And that's why I say that, because that's why gold is going up, is not because the dollar is going down. Surely it's because the demand for gold makes the price go up. And that's what's happening. So it's just ludicrous. These people are idiots. That's why it's so hard. I can barely listen to any of them anymore because after about 2 minutes, I already know. I've been there, done that. I already know it. I don't need to listen. I'm trying to listen for new stuff, like BRICS is on the gold-backed currency. There's one guy who keeps saying, well, BRICS is coming out with a digital currency. No, it's a gold-backed currency. The fact they want to do digital, they're also going to print bill, like Zimbabwe. It's digital, but they still have the bills. So we got to, I'll watch to keep track how Zimbabwe's currency is doing. It's gold back now. It should be fine. The BRICS gold back currency. And everybody, I'm watching today, Venezuela might join. Oh, okay. Argentina is going bankrupt because they're on the US dollar. Venezuela is bankrupt because they're on the US dollar. BRICS will be gold back and nobody will go bankrupt. I wonder which is the best thing. So everybody talks about de-dollarization and all. It's simple. You have gold, you win. This is the key formula. If you have this, you're down to like, it's worth about a half a cent now, Charlie. Yeah, we better get out of it. Oh, but the U.S. is forcing us in it. They're gonna kill us if we get out of it. They're gonna execute us. Who wants to deal with these idiots? I don't know. It's insane. Anyway, I think that's it. Let's go through baseball one more time. The picks, just the picks today. The Dodgers, 5 units. San Diego, 5 unit. They've already started. Baltimore, Chicago Cubs under 7.5 is my lock at 10 units. Kansas City under 7.5 is my other lock at 10 units. The Yankees under 8.5 is 5 units, and the Verlanders are 5 units. So those are my 6 picks. The other picks were Cleveland over 11, Toronto, Atlanta over 8, Oakland over 8, and Baltimore were regular picks, not like they're call them, I guess, 1 unit picks. No basketball today. Tomorrow we're going to take Minnesota backs against the wall. They finally proved they can win. So the plan will be to take them to win game 2 tomorrow in Minnesota and then take Dallas to end it in game 6. Because then they'll be on a 2-game losing streak. And they don't really want to go to a 7. But it wouldn't surprise me if Minnesota takes it to 7 now that they figured out what to do. So it's the coach adjusting and adjusting and adjusting, finally figuring out how to guard Luca Brasi and if they have anybody else on their team. And so that'll come in handy tomorrow. Minnesota should still be hot. And then it's up to Dallas to make the adjustment for game 6 in Dallas to finish them off. Again, women / stoic. Again, keep in mind, you want them to text you. I mean, all right, it's the first date. You might text, hey, how you doing? You want to go out? Okay. After that, they text you and you respond. Sort of like what Jenna does. Jenna texts me every morning and I wake up and I respond. Very rarely do I text her. I'm responding to her. I text her as the response, but I don't text her as the beginning. Or once in a while, if I don't hear from her, I might say, hi, good morning. How are you today? And that's all I'm doing. The problem is where you get frustrated is the sender gets fucked up from not getting the answer. That's why I'm fucked up with Daria. I'm sending and not receiving. So I am making the change as of today. I am not sending anymore because I think I send too much. And I think she's busy working and with the daughter. And I think she doesn't have time to respond to every one of mine. So when she gets a chance, she responds. I don't doubt the love, although my friend doubts it a little bit, but I don't really doubt it. I can feel it pretty strongly. So I will leave it to her to respond. And if she simply doesn't respond, because I'm like going, it's been 7 days. Do you not want to talk to me? That's where I'm at because I'm texting, but that stops. So now when I don't text, it's up to her to start and me to respond. So I'm switching it. So I'm texting. It's up to her to respond. She's not. It's frustrating me. However, if I get off of that and now I wait for her text, I'm going to respond to your text. Now, if she doesn't text, fine. I save my money and off I go. And I stop wasting my time. If she starts texting, and a lot of times she would text. So you got to understand the whole picture here. I used to wake up to Daria text and then I would respond. But when I don't get them for a couple of days, then I start texting. And I can't do that. She doesn't understand. She's Russian. It's a whole different culture and everything else. I got to leave it alone. I just got to wait for her to have time to text me. And that's the problem. And that's it in a nutshell. It's just too much on my blood pressure. It's like I'm freaking out. You hear me freak out. Now I'm much calmer now. Now I understand the play, just like I understand inflation, right? So you got to understand it, right? It's the same as inflation. You're printing too much money, you're devaluing it. You're the one texting and you're not getting an answer. Wait for the answer. I'm sure I'll get one. If I don't get one for a month, I don't get one for the month. That's fine. And then, it's just because she's busy. It's not because she doesn't love me and doesn't want to text me. She just doesn't realize to text me every day. Jenna does. But Jenna's been on 5 vacations with me and Daria hasn't. And that's really the whole point to it. So I'm very happy that I discussed that and got it figured out with my friend, which is really important. And just talking it out helps. But I mean, because you wake up and you're like, oh, fuck, no text. Oh, fuck, no text. What is that? And that's really what hurts you is when you are expecting, it's like you're expecting a check in the mail or something. And you're like, you keep going to the mailbox. Shit, I didn't get the check. I didn't get the check. I didn't get the check. And that's where the frustration is when you are getting an expected outcome and you don't get it. So that's the problem. When you expect an outcome and you don't get it, you get frustrated. So don't expect the outcome. Now I'm not going to expect Daria to text me. If she does, great, but I'm not going to expect it. I'm just going to, when she texts me, great. And that's all you can do is when they do text you, you respond. Otherwise, the text every day is too much, and especially with Daria, with Jenna, it is. She likes to text every day, but she's alone and not working. Daria's got the daughter and is working, so it's a whole different perspective, and you've got to understand that. And that's the question. Well, if she really loves you, she texts you every day. Well, not necessarily. She does really love me, but she doesn't know we haven't met. She doesn't know, you say, I love you every day. Well, that's a normal thing, but not for Daria because she lives in Russia. So anyway, I'm very happy I kind of figured that out. And so I won't text her all the time and just wait for her to text me, and now I'm going to be responding. So when I do wake up and there's a Daria text, I will respond. If there's no Daria text, I'm not going to get frustrated. There should be. And that's I think how you have to, that's how you do relationships and girlfriends and all that is because you only really want to be with people that want you, right? Does she love me? Does she want to be with me? Well, you let that, you see that, right? She texts you. Yeah, she loves me. She wants to be with me. She's texting me. No, it's okay. Now you're not wasting your time. If you're doing what I'm doing, where I'm texting her and getting frustrated, she's not responding, I'm way off base. Now, I love the girl, but you're way off base. You can't do that. Let her text, then you respond. And if she says, I'm working, that's fine. And a lot of times she texts and I respond, but with the days she doesn't text, then you're texting, waiting for the response. You're fucked. You can't do it. So stoic lesson number 1. I hope everybody understands that. Just like we understand you can't print this, just like we understand if you do print too much of this, it loses all its value. So if you get to the base and you understand it, it's much, much easier. And that's where we're at. I'll be with Daria. I'm sure of it, but she's busy with work and she's busy with the daughter, and I got to respect that and understand it and let her, okay, I'm free. I can talk to you. It's sort of how is what needs to happen. I'm free. I can talk to you. And then you go, oh, okay, now let's talk. But for me to just text and not get a response, she's not free. But I don't know because I'm not in Russia. All right. That's about it. Have a good day. Good luck on baseball. We can talk football later in the week. Again, Monday should be my final interview. 1:00 Monday. So I don't know if I might do class early and go to the pool after the interview. I could go to the pool at 10:00 and make sure I'm back 12:30 for the 1:00 interview. I'll have to see how I feel, if I get a good night's sleep and everything. Anyway, that's Monday. So good luck on the games, and we will talk more tomorrow. I'm out a little late because I had the meeting with my friend after the pool. But bought the extra. So I bought this yesterday, 1/4 ounce maple leaf, $650, which I consider a good price. Let's check here. Let's look what our gold and silver is doing. All right. Silver, 31.97, down 9 cents in material. And gold is at $23.39. So it really hasn't moved. It went down a little and then pop back up. Not a lot of too much down today. We had the 2:00 down at 3:00 to 6. That's Asia. And then a little bit at 9 and not much at 10. And then it crept back up at 2 and then down from 2 to about 4. And now it's coming back up. Anyway, 23.38. It's all immaterial. We know it's going to 20,000, and we just know that comex is price fixed. Once the comex runs out of gold and it goes to a Shanghai physical market without the bullshit price fixing, then we'll really see it fly. And we won't see profit taking, and we won't see any of the other bullshit that these idiots are trying to pass on. Anyway, be careful who you listen to. Do not listen to Lynette Zing. I was listening to her for about 15 minutes just to I know I don't like her. I know she's kind of an MMT. And then she starts talking about velocity, and I lose it going, okay, Austrian economics does not have velocity in it. It's all about how much money you print, not how fast it goes. How fast it goes is immaterial. The fact you printed so much money makes the money worth less. That's all you care about. All right. Have a good night. Enjoy. Again, the big games are the Cubs under 7.5, KC under 7.5, and Verlander and the Yankees under 8.5. All right, everybody. Good luck. Stay stoic. You got the girl, you let her text you, you respond, not the other way around. Now I finally get it. I've seen some stoics where they say you never call or text. What they mean is you don't initiate. You let them call you. It shows they're interested, and then you respond to it. And you got to respond. Then you respond. You just don't make the initial call. You do in the beginning just to say, hi, how are you? But then after a little bit, you then, like now with Daria, it's been a few years. And you just let it go. You just say, okay, look, I'm texting you. You're not responding. I'll wait for you to text me. So you give me a text because it drives you nuts waiting and waiting and waiting. All right, enough of that. So good luck. And off we go. All right. Have a nice day, everybody. www.teaserking.com. Football coming. We did week 1 college. We've done week 1 pro. Happy times. All right. Take care, everybody. Bobby Bo, I hope you're safe wherever the hell you are.